Ecclesiastes 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities. All is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labour which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun rises and the sun sets, and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea. Yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, "Look, this is something new"? It was here already, long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I applied my mind to study and to explore by wisdom all that is under the heavens. What a heavy burden God had laid on mankind. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, "Look, I have increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much of wisdom and knowledge." Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also of madness and folly. But I learned that this, too, is chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. I said to myself, "Come now, I will test you with pleasure to find out what is good." But that also proved to be meaningless. Laughter, I said, is madness. And what does pleasure accomplish? I tried cheering myself with wine and embracing folly, my mind still guiding me with wisdom. I wanted to see what was good for people to do under the heavens during the few days of their lives. I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself and the treasure of kings and provinces. I acquired male and female singers and a harem, as well the delights of a man's heart. I became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. In all this my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my labour, and this was the reward for all my toil. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done, and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was vanity, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Then I turned my thoughts to consider wisdom, and also madness and folly. What more can the king's successor do than what has already been done? I saw that wisdom is better than folly, just as light is better than darkness. The wise have eyes in their heads, while the fool walks in the darkness. But I came to realize that the same fate overtakes them both. Then I said to myself, fate of the fool will overtake me also. What then do I gain by being wise? I said to myself, this too is vanity. For the wise, like the fool, will not be long remembered. The days have already come when both have been forgotten. Like the fool, the wise must die. So I hated life, because the work that is done under the sun was grievous to me. All of it is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. I hated all the things I had toiled for under the sun, because I must leave them to the one who comes after me. And who knows whether that person will be wise or foolish? Yet they will have control over all the fruit of my toil, into which I have poured my effort and skill under the sun. This too is meaningless. So my heart began to despair over all my toilsome labour under the sun. For a person may labour with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, and then they must leave all they own to another who has not toiled for it. This too is vanity, and a great misfortune. What do people get for all the toil and anxious striving with which they labour under the sun? All their days their work is grief and pain. Even at night their minds do not rest. This too is meaningless. A person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too, I see, is from the hand of God. For without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? To the person who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and happiness. But to the sinner he gives the task of gathering and storing up wealth, to hand it over to the one who pleases God. This too is meaningless and chasing after the wind. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give it up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What do workers gain from their toil? I have seen the burden God has laid upon the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. I know that there is nothing better for people than to be happy and to do good while they live, that each of them may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all their toil. This is the gift of God. I know that everything God does will endure forever. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing taken away from it. God does it so that people will fear him. Whatever is, has already been, and what will be has been before, and God will call the past to account. And I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I said to myself, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. I also said to myself, as for humans, God tests them so that they may see that they are like the animals. Surely the fate of human beings is like that of the animals. The same fate awaits them both. As one dies, so dies the other. All have the same breath. Humans have no advantage over animals. Everything is vanity. All go to the same place, all come from dust, and to dust all return. Who knows if the human spirit rises upward, and if the spirit of the animal goes down into the earth? So I saw that there is nothing better for a person to do than enjoy their work, because that is their lot. For who can bring them to see what will happen after them? Again I looked and saw all the oppression that was taking place under the sun. I saw the tears of the oppressed, and they have no comforter. Power was on the side of their oppressors, and they have no comforter. And I declared that the dead, who had already died, are happier than the living, who are still alive. But better than both is the one who has never been born, who has not seen the evil that is done under the sun. And I saw that all toil and all achievement spring from one person's envy of another. This too is vanity, a chasing after the wind. Fools fold their hands and ruin themselves. Better one handful with tranquility than 2 handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind. Again I saw something meaningless under the sun. There was a man all alone. He had neither son nor brother. There was no end in his toil. Yet his eyes were not content with his wealth. For whom am I toiling, he asked. And why am I depriving myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless, a miserable business. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labour. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Also, if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm, but how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Better a poor but wise youth than an old but foolish king who no longer knows how to heed a warning. The youth may have come from prison to the kingship, or he may have been born in poverty within his kingdom. I saw that all who lived and walked under the sun followed the youth, the king's successor. There was no end to all the people who were before them. But those who came later were not pleased with the successor. This too is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Go near to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools who do not know that they do wrong. Do not be quick in your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven, and you are on earth. So let your words be few. A dream comes when there are many cares, and many words mark the speech of a fool. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to fulfill it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. It is better not to make a vow than to make one and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin. And do not protest to the temple messenger, "My vow was a mistake." Why should God be angry at what you say and destroy the work of your hand? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, fear God. If you see the poor oppressed in a district, and justice and rights denied, do not be surprised at such things, for one official is eyed by a higher one, and over them both are others higher still. The increase from the land is taken by all. The king himself profits from the fields. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is vanity. As goods increase, so do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owners, except to feast their eyes on them? The sleep of a labourer is sweet, whether they eat little or much. But as for the rich, their abundance permits them no sleep. I have seen a grievous evil under the sun. Wealth hoarded to harm of its owners, or wealth lost through some misfortune, so that when they have children there is nothing left for them to inherit. Everyone comes naked from their mother's womb, and as everyone comes, so they depart. They take nothing from their toil that they can carry in their hands. This too is a grievous evil. As everyone comes, so they depart, and what do they gain, since they toil for the wind? All their days they eat in darkness, with great frustration, affliction, and anger. This is what I have observed to be good, that it is appropriate for a person to eat, to drink, and to find satisfaction in their toilsome labour under the sun during the few days of life God has given them, for this is their lot. Moreover, when God gives someone wealth and possessions and the ability to enjoy them, to accept their lot and be happy in their toil, this is a gift from God. They seldom reflect on the days of their life because God keeps them occupied with gladness of heart. I have seen another evil under the sun, and it weighs heavily on mankind. God gives some people wealth, possessions, and honour, so that they lack nothing their hearts desire, but God does not grant them the ability to enjoy them, and strangers enjoy them instead. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. A man may have 100 children and live many years, yet no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive proper burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. It comes without meaning, it departs in darkness, and in darkness its name is shrouded. Though it never saw the sun or knew anything, it has more rest than does that man. Even if he lives 1,000 years twice over but fails to enjoy his prosperity, do not all go to the same place. Everyone's toil is for their mouth, yet their appetite is never satisfied. What advantage have the wise over fools? What do the poor gain by knowing how to conduct themselves before others? Better what the eye sees than the roving of the appetite. This too is vanity, a chasing after the wind. Whatever exists has already been named, and what humanity is has been known. No one can contend with someone who is stronger. The more the words, the less the meaning. And how does that profit anyone? For who knows what is good for a person in life during the few and meaningless days they pass through like a shadow? Who can tell them what will happen under the sun after they are gone? A good name is better than fine perfume, and the day of death better than the day of birth. It is better to go to a house of mourning than to go to a house of feasting, for death is a destiny of everyone. The living should take this to heart. Frustration is better than laughter, because a sad face is good for the heart. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of pleasure. It is better to heed the rebuke of a wise person than to listen to the songs of fools. Like the crackling of thorns under the pots, so is the laughter of fools. This too is meaningless. Extortion turns a wise person into a fool, and a bribe corrupts the heart. The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. Do not be quickly provoked in your hearts, for anger resides in the lap of fools. Do not say, "Why were the old days better than these?" For it is not wise to ask such questions. Wisdom, like an inheritance, is a good thing and benefits those who see the sun. Wisdom is a shelter, as money is a shelter. But the advantage of knowledge is this: Wisdom preserves those who have it. Consider what God has done. Who can straighten what he has made crooked? When times are good, be happy. But when times are bad, consider this. God has made the one as well as the other. Therefore, no one can discover anything about the future. In this meaningless life of mine, I have seen both of these. The righteous perishing in their righteousness, and the wicked living long in their wickedness. Do not be over-righteous, neither be over-wise. Why destroy yourself? Do not be over-wicked, and do not be a fool. Why die before your time? It is good to grasp the one and not let go of the other. Whoever fears God will avoid all extremes. Wisdom makes one wise person more powerful than 10 rulers in a city. Indeed, there is no one on earth who is righteous, no one who does what is right and never sins. Do not pay attention to every word people say, or you may hear your servant cursing you, for you know in your hearts that many times you yourself have cursed others. All this I attest. All this I tested by wisdom and said, I am determined to be wise. But this was beyond me. Whatever exists is far off and most profound. Who can discover it? So I turned my mind to understand, to investigate and to search out wisdom and the scheme of things, and to understand the stupidity of wickedness and the madness of folly. I find more bitter than death the woman who is a snare, whose heart is a trap, and whose hands are chains. The man who pleases God will escape her, but the sinner she will ensnare. Look, says the teacher, this is what I have discovered, adding one thing to another to discover the scheme of things. While I was still searching, but not finding, I found one upright man among 1,000, but not one upright woman among them all. This only have I found: God created mankind upright, but they have gone in search of many schemes. Who is like the wise? Who knows the explanation of things? A person's wisdom brightens their face and changes its hard appearance. I obey the king's command, I say, because you took an oath before God. Do not be in a hurry to leave the king's presence. Do not stand up for bad cause, for he will do whatever he pleases. Since a king's word is supreme, who can say to him, "What are you doing?" Whoever obeys his command will come to no harm, and the wise heart will know the proper time and procedure, for there is a proper time and procedure for every matter, though a person may be weighed down by misery. Since no one knows the future, who can tell someone else what is to come? And no one has power over the wind to contain it, so no one has power over the time of their death. As no one is discharged in time of war, so wickedness will not release those who practice it. All this I saw, as I applied my mind to everything done under the sun. There is a time when a man's lord it over others to his own hurt. Then too I saw the wicked buried. Those who used to come up and go from the holy place and receive praise in the city where they did this. This too is vanity. When the sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, people's hearts are filled with schemes to do wrong. Although a wicked person who commits 100 crimes may live a long time, I know that it will go better with those who fear God, who are revered, who are reverent before him. Yet because the wicked do not fear God, it will go well with them, and their days will not lengthen like a shadow. It will not go well with them, and their days will not lengthen like a shadow. There is something else meaningless that occurs on earth: the righteous who get what the wicked deserve, and the wicked who get what the righteous deserve. This too, I say, is meaningless. So I commend the enjoyment of life, because there is nothing better for a person under the sun than to eat and drink and be glad. Then joy will accompany them in their toil all the days of life God has given them under the sun. When I applied my mind to know wisdom and to observe the labor that is done on earth, people getting no sleep day or night, then I saw all that God has done. No one can comprehend what goes on under the sun. Despite all their efforts to search it out, no one can discover its meaning. Even if the wise claim they know, they cannot really comprehend it. So I reflected on all this and concluded that the righteous and the wise and what they do are in God's hands, but no one knows whether love or hate awaits them. All share a common destiny, the righteous and the wicked, the good and the bad, the clean and the unclean, those who offer sacrifice and those who do not. As it is with the good, so with the sinful. As it is with those who take oaths, so with those who are afraid to take them. This is the evil in everything that happens under the sun. The same destiny overtakes all. The hearts of people, moreover, are full of evil, and there is madness in their hearts while they live, and afterward they join the dead. Anyone who is among the living has hope. Even a live dog is better off than a dead lion. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even their name is forgotten. Their love, their hate, and their jealousy have long since vanished. Never again will they have a part in anything that happens under the sun. Go, eat your food with gladness, and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for God has already approved what you do. Always be clothed in white, and always anoint your head with oil. Enjoy life with your wife, whom you love, all the days of this meaningless life that God has given you under the sun. All your meaningless days, for this is your lot in life and in your toilsome labor under the sun. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. For in the realm of the dead, where you are going, there is neither working nor planning, nor knowledge nor wisdom. I have seen something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favour to the learned, but time and chance happen to them all. Moreover, no one knows when their hour will come. As fish are caught in a cruel net, or birds are taken in a snare, so people are trapped by evil times that fall unexpectedly upon them. I also saw under the sun this example of wisdom that greatly impressed me. There was once a small city with only a few people in it, and a powerful king came against it, surrounded it, and built huge siege works against it. Now there lived in that city a man poor but wise, and he saved the city by his wisdom, but nobody remembered that poor man. So I said, wisdom is better than strength, but the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are no longer heeded. The quiet words of the wise are more to be heeded than the shouts of a ruler of fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. As dead flies give perfume a bad smell, so a little folly outweighs wisdom and honour. The heart of the wise inclines to the right, but the heart of the fool to the left. Even as fools walk along the road, they lack sense, and show everyone how stupid they are. If a ruler's anger rises against you, do not leave your post. Calmness can lay great offences to rest. There is an evil I have seen under the sun, the sort of error that arises from a ruler. Fools are put in many high positions, while the rich occupy the low ones. I have seen slaves on horseback, while princes go on foot like slaves. Whoever digs a pit may fall into it. Whoever breaks through a wall may be bitten by a snake. Whoever quarries stone may be injured by them. Whoever splits logs may be endangered by them. If the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. If a snake bites before it is charmed, the charmer receives no fee. The words from the mouth of the wise are gracious, but fools are consumed by their own lips. At the beginning, the words are folly. At the end, they are wicked madness, and fools multiply words. No one knows what is coming. Who can tell someone else what will happen after them? The toil of fools wearies them, and they do not know the way to town. Woe to the land whose king was a servant, and whose princes feast in the morning. Blessed is the land whose king is of noble birth, and whose princes eat at a proper time, for strength and not for drunkenness. Through laziness the rafters sag, because of idle hands the house leaks. A feast is made for laughter, wine makes life merry, and money is the answer for everything. Do not revile the king even in your thoughts, or curse the rich in your bedroom, because a bird in the sky may carry your words, and a bird on the wing may report what you say. Ship your grain across the sea. After many days you may receive a return. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. If clouds are full of water, they pour rain on the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there it will lie. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hand not be idle. For you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. Light is sweet, and it pleases the eyes to see the sun. However many years anyone may live, let them enjoy them all. But let them remember the days of darkness, for there will be many. Everything to come is vanity. You who are young, be happy while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart, and whatever your eyes see. But know that for all these things God will bring you into judgment. So then, banish anxiety from your heart and cast off the troubles of your body. For youth and vigour are meaningless. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come, and the years approach when you will say, I find no pleasure in them. Before the sun and the light, and the moon and the stars grow dark, and the clouds return after the rain, when the keepers of the house tremble, and the strong men stoop, when the grinders cease because they are few, and those looking through the window grow dim. When the doors to the street are closed, and the sound of grinding fades, when the people rise up at the sound of birds, but all their songs grow faint. When people are afraid of heights and of dangers in the streets, when the almond tree blossoms and the grasshopper drags itself along and desire no longer is stirred. When people go to their eternal home and mourners go about the streets. Remember him before the silver cord is severed and the golden bowl is broken, before the pitcher is shattered at the spring and the wheel broken at the well, and the dust returns to the ground it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Vanity, vanity, says the teacher. All is vanity. Not only was the teacher wise, but he also imparted knowledge to the people. He pondered and searched out and set in order many proverbs. The teacher searched to find just the right words, and what he wrote was upright and true. The words of the wise are like goads, their collected sayings like firmly embedded nails, given by one shepherd. Be warned, my son, of anything in addition to them. Of making many books there is no end, and much study wearies the body. Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God, and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil.
I heard him shout, "See, still ashes!" I cried steadfast as my blood dripped down out. 40 men swore to an oath not to swallow one thing until my death. I'd fight, but it be in your hands. Got my scars already to beg, privilege to trust you. I'll worship and stay, anguish burning in my pleas are that I can, under all these stones, still combine my hands to I'd see before I'd ever think this would go down. A second more will keep my knee from above. Yeah. Bowed are my hands beyond bars to chains for you. Sings a sweet song to break free, but I will be home soon. Battered by Euroglide to get across the sea. I gotta follow my captain in the sky. God, my scars are ready to beg. Privileged to trust you, I'll worship and stay at anguish burning in my pleas are that I can, under all these stones, still combine my hands to God, my scars are ready to beg. Privileged to trust you, I'll worship and stay at anguish burning in my pleas are that I can, under all these stones, still combine my hands to
Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? I'd say, come on, sit on down like I usually do, but you probably already sat down and been sat down for a while. How long was that? It took me 40-something minutes to read Ecclesiastes to you. It goes on, doesn't it? It's not that long. It's not that long, shall we say? Let me just quickly sort out my webcam because I never properly. Yeah, there's a little process you got to do just to get it to work, and here we go, popping up. Here I am. Hello, everyone. So yeah, I don't know what it was. Something about this live stream. I have no idea, but it was kind of like I've been busy all day doing what I do, family stuff, you know. And I, in the back of my mind, I've got to do a live show tonight, and I have no topic, nothing to talk about. But there was just this pull, this need to read Ecclesiastes out loud, and I don't know what it was. I just felt like I had to do it. And Ecclesiastes for me is kind of, I would say it's probably one of my favorite books in the Bible. I'd say it's pretty much up there. It was actually the first book I ever read before I was saved. Anything biblical whatsoever. And the page in my own Bible, let me just quickly grab this here. There we were reading the online NIV, and I kept switching out the meaningless for vanity because I think that hits a lot harder from the King James version. So yeah, there was a minor change to what you're seeing on the screen there, just because vanity of vanity I thought was it really hits hard. But yeah, here's in my own book, Ecclesiastes. The page is actually ripped out because it was turned to that one so much in the early days. And yeah, there's something about the overall message I feel like has spoken to me, and I think it speaks to everybody who hears it. I don't think anybody could listen to Ecclesiastes and not feel something, not know that there's some pretty horrible truths here, harsh truths about what it means to exist. And I think there's a lot of people who struggle with just existing. Why? The big why question. Why even anything at all? What is the point? It's suffering. It's meaningless. It's pointless. Everything is terrible. And this is what Ecclesiastes is like trying to contend with in a way. This is what obviously I think Solomon was trying to deal with. This idea that, you know, how do I learn to live in a world that's so arbitrary? That, you know, the righteous will suffer while the wicked gain riches, and but then vice versa could happen as well. It's 50-50 chance. Who knows what will happen? And his conclusion was pretty consistent. It's just enjoy the life you have when you have it. Enjoy things when they're good and when they're good, and you have no idea what's coming your way or when. Whether you're foolish or wise, rich or poor, it really doesn't matter. The end is the same for all of us. We all die. And in some cases, through his own exasperation with the suffering, he had those moments where he was screaming to the heavens and to the people who were asking for wisdom. Maybe it's better that we were never born at all. Maybe the stillborn child is happier than us because they never knew the pain and suffering of existence itself. And maybe those who die are free in a sense. And he, for the context of the time it was written, this is before Christ, it was down to earth and realistic. It wasn't overtly like, there wasn't much religiosity in what he was saying. It wasn't like preaching necessarily or anything of the sort. It was very much just a realistic take. A man who's seen it all, had it all, has known it all, and has nothing held back from him, laying it clear as day that it's all vanity. It really is. It doesn't matter what you do. And hearing that as a young man, at the age of like 20, 22, 23, I was saved in 2014. So what was that? 12 years? What are we on now? I don't know. I'm 33 now, so I was in my early 20s, and you have these things in your heart at that age, these plans, these ideas of who you're going to be, where you're going to go. And you can't help but always feel like the game's rigged against you. No matter what you do or how hard you work or how hard you try, you just get knocked down, pushed back. And it's even impossible to even get on the ladder to begin with and get going, because the ladder's just greased up to hell. And it's already about 10 foot off the ground and you can't even reach the damn thing, It feels that's what existence can feel like sometimes. And hearing that this is it. This is written thousands of years ago in a sense, and even he's saying like, we've been through it all. We've always been going through this. And it really does. And obviously, whether you're rich or poor or successful or wise or foolish, we all end up feeling that way. It doesn't matter how much money you get, it'll never be enough. It doesn't matter how much stuff you acquire. It'll only bring more problems. It doesn't matter how much land you own or how much property you have or how many servants you have. All you've done to give yourself more work and more toil and more labor to sustain it all. It's kind of the pursuit of those things, which he himself said he did, brought him nothing but more sorrow and turmoil at the realization, as it really means nothing. It changes nothing. The results are always the same. And there's always that level of arbitrary nature to existence in this world. And he's saying all of it is in God's hands. And who can know the future? Who can know what's truly going to happen? No divination is going to tell you what's going to happen in the future. There's no prediction for that. And it's these reminders that don't be too extreme in any way, shape, or form. Don't imagine horrors of unspeakable futures in your mind that haven't existed yet, and don't beat yourself up and worry too much and tear yourself apart over the past that's already happened, because neither exist in a sense. You're just here now, eat, drink, and enjoy what you do have while you have it, because it could go at any moment, and that's your lot in life. And hearing that did something to me. I can't explain it, but it changed my game mentality in my brain. It made me understand that I can stop pursuing finally, because it's killing me. Chasing the wind. And I was doing that. And I think in a way we were all doing that at some point in our lives. And there's something to be said for youth. And I like there at the end, he's saying, while you're young, go in and be young. go and be foolish and do the silly things and eat and drink and enjoy your youth while you have your youth. But God will judge you for what you do. I thought that hit hard when he said that. It's kind of go and do it because you're going to do it anyway, and nobody can tell you anything. And he knows that. He's wise enough to know you can't tell a young person that what they can and cannot do. But he also gave that warning, says, but whatever you do, remember that you will be judged for that. And maybe not even in the next life. And I felt that hard too. Because I had made mistakes in the past. I had done some terrible things during my own youth. Quite self-centered, narcissistic, out for myself type of things, where I stepped on other people. I harbored resentment and anger and revenge and rage and all sorts of things, and again, I abused drugs in my own body, and my own thoughts and mind was filled with terrible ideas and ideologies, and it's kind of, I suffered for that. It got to a point where the judgment came. The consequences of my own actions caught with me, and it's kind of, I thank God for the judgment and when it came and the conviction, because it inevitably saved me. It led me to a realization that I need to change. And obviously, again, this is written before Christ. In hindsight, in retrospect, when you think of what Christ came to do, he came to give people that option that, yes, whoever you are, rich, poor, free or slave or whatever, it doesn't matter, tall, short, fat, thin, male, female, old, young, any dividing line, it can be just blown out of the water with Christ. As long as you are with him and believe in him, you'll be saved. And the death that he imagines in Ecclesiastes, that doesn't matter what we do, we're all going to end up in the same place and before judgment, and that hasn't changed. The way we live in this world has not changed. This world is still arbitrary. This world is still cruel. The things will happen whether you try your best to make them happen or not happen. Often, the more you try and make something not happen, the more you just make it end up happening. It's just that life, the world is like this, and even then, no matter how hard you try, you may still fail. And that's why he even says, have many things going at once, because that thing might not succeed, that thing might collapse completely, or both of them may succeed, or both of them may fail. Have many safety nets planned up. And this is good wisdom, and wisdom I felt like I needed to hear at the time, but that's existence. But the blessed hope we now have, this peace we can have living in this world of chaos and arbitrary nature of reality, living in this fallen, corrupted world, is that, well, whatever happens, you're covered by the blood of Christ, and you're covered in judgment, and God has already forgiven you. Solomon wasn't really given that. And even he understood and had the faith and the understanding, It's all in God's hands. Whatever's happening here, I'm going to trust God has a plan. It's basically the wisest thing he could come up with at the end of it all. It's like, whatever's going on, fear God and understand it's all this is clearly a part of the plan. Like, whatever it is, who can know is what he was saying. Who can possibly know? And now that we know the revelation of Christ himself, we're really lucky in a sense, and we can have far more contextualized hindsight wisdom than Solomon ever had in his time, in his day. But we have to always remember and remain humble that existence here, while we have it, whether we're saved or not, can still be cruel, miserable, painful, short, brutish, impoverished, and the rest of it. You're not promised prosperity simply just because your eternal salvation is safe, if you understand. And I think even some Christians need to remember that and understand that. And you're not promised that you won't suffer. That was never part of the deal. Not until the end, not until the new heaven and earth, whatever that's going to look like and be like, and however that's going to really be. I'm not talking about the millennial reign of an earthly kingdom with an iron rod being ruled over by the king. I'm talking about whatever this final end stage situation is, but either way, it's still a kingdom. And I think Solomon's wisdom there is also wise. It's kind of respect the king, do what the king says, keep your head down, and understand there's wisdom in that. Even though many earthly kings have risen and fallen, some wise, some foolish. As an example, don't think that means there can't be a righteous king that can do it right. And we need to respect that system of authority. And I can get that, but as someone who was young, I didn't get it. I didn't want to believe that all systems of leadership were corrupt in my eyes, And I think something about conspiracy as well, who perhaps aren't Christian conspiracy theorists, I feel like they resent Christ because he is an authority figure. And some people think to be, truly awake is to be against all authority, in a sense. And in a way, that's antichrist to be that way. And it's a very broad description, but that's basically what it is, because to be against kingdoms and rulership is to be against the very philosophy of Jesus Christ and his kingdom. From the get-go, he came to establish his authority over the earth and to establish a kingdom. That's what it was. And again, there's much to be said there as well about what he already established on earth and what we're living in today. And in a way, we're back to a time where Satan has the reins, and there's more arbitrary cruelty in this world than necessary because of that. And it really is all geared against righteousness. And as it was explained in Ecclesiastes, which I think is a great point, it's that wisdom takes time to create good fruit, in a sense, though it is the best way to be and will create the best place for people to live. And the more people who are living through wisdom, the better. But it takes one fool a very short amount of time to destroy it all. Do you understand? And that's the issue with this world. It's like, it's easy to destroy something. It's hard to build something. And more people today are choosing destruction. And we have to live in that world where that's the case. And I don't even know. I don't really even know what I'm saying right now or why I'm saying any of this. But it's been rough. Okay. And I would recommend, if anyone wants to pray for me, please pray for me and my family. That would be great. But I suppose I needed a reminder of the arbitrary nature of all of this whole thing we call life, and what we're all living through. And I'm not special, I'm not saying my problems are any worse than anybody else's. They're not. And I guess in a way I just want to remind myself and anyone listening, it's like, yeah, I get it, man. We're all going through it. I hope you're okay. This is the truth of therapy sessions after all. And if you're new to this idea and you haven't heard Ecclesiastes before, I hope that struck a chord in you like it did me when I first read it. I feel like it's wisdom that's seldom really heard these days. Yeah. So there you go, guys. There's my little Ecclesiastes opening, whatever that is. We can move on a little bit, lighten things up a bit more. If anyone has anything they want to say, any questions, let me know. I'm going to switch the chat up now to live. It was stuck on top chat for some reason. I'm not sure why. We've got Wendy in the house. Thanks for being here. Thanks for moderating, Wendy. I appreciate it. We got Nina. Kanga Kong's here as well. That's great. Kanga, if you didn't hear, I've got you here and hopefully you're listening. The Nephilim Look Like Clowns book has had a full revamp. The second edition is now for sale on Amazon. It's replaced the first edition completely. I will say that your name is in the back now. It should have been there originally, and I apologize. But you are there right at the back with a special thank you specifically for you, as you deserve. So there you go. Just letting you know that is there now. I'm not sure you got it last time. Could have given me a trigger warning before this one, says the wife. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. It's good to hear. Like, I think it's good for anyone to hear. I know he's got his bit of a, Solomon had a bit of a rough moment there in the middle where he's like, women, am I right? But, so saith Solomon, not so saith the Lord. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I thought that just made me laugh. But he didn't dwell on it. He moved on because he made it clear. But men are pretty terrible. It's basically what he moved on to. He says, but that's by the by, because men aren't any better. You're like, we're awful. We're all terrible. Every human's terrible. We're all sinners. What the hell are we supposed to do about this? It was basically just his throwing his arms to the air. It's like, there's none of us are good. Why do we even do this? Yeah, that's made me laugh. I always believed a monarchy was the perfect system if you have a perfect ruler, says the Matrix Unraveled. That's basically true. But the problem is, what earthly king can we have that's going to be the righteous ruler that can be fair and just to all? And that's not being nice to everybody, including the rapists and the pedophiles and the murderers. It's judgment, righteous judgment. The people who've done bad things, who deserve punishment righteously so, and to be judged. And you need a righteous king to make those decisions, because corruption seeps in our earthly kingdoms, and people get away with things, and ideologies get in the way, and other stuff happens. And that's the issue, isn't it? In a way, that's the issue. Which is why we're supposed to keep our eyes on God. Let God be the one, the righteous judge, the one that makes these judgments for us. And as earthly rulers, leaders, the best we can do is make our judgments based on, well, what would Jesus do? To the best of our knowledge, through the scriptures and the studies and our communion with him and what we know about his character, how would he deal with this? And that's what Solomon was trying to do. He was trying to say, look, God owns it all. Like, we have to trust that there's a reason for all of this. And he did, and we do too. That's how it works. This world sucks. Thank you, God Almighty, for your sacrifice, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, thank God we have Jesus. That's what I mean, we are incredibly lucky to live in this time. Like, even if it is the little season, we're still very lucky that we can know Jesus and know Christ and accept that free gift and have peace. Have peace even when things are absolutely terrible. We're lucky. And for most of human existence, that was not the case. Like, we should not take that for granted, not even for 1 second. I certainly don't. Right, guys. So, moving on, even though that's deadly important, I'm working on the advert for the audiobook recently, and I released onto Patreon this short 1 minute, very rough outline draft, extremely rough, not finished whatsoever, just like an idea, like an introduction to concept of how this is going to look in the end. And I shared it last night with Wendy and MK Ryan, just to get a finger on the pulse of people's reactions, like what do people think of this? And I think they think it's funny. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're just being nice to me. I don't know. But it was. I put it on Patreon for the past couple of days, and I'll share it with you guys now. So this is just the rough 1 minute run through. Okay, just the rough 1 minute run through. And the way I'm going to do this is, let me just quickly, if I go to slideshows, nope. Let's go to adverts, nope, not there. Intro videos. Okay, I'm going to stop that before it plays, and I'm going to replace this video. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to do it so it actually plays properly for you guys, rather than me just screen sharing something. And I'll just click the video to share with you. So it'll play here. So this is just the advert test. This is the flavor of what it may be like. My overall...
a world where 54% of Americans read below a sixth...
Let's just stop that. Okay, so before this starts, my overall vision is that this is going to be at least maybe 40 seconds longer to 2 minutes long, something about 2 minutes long. I plan to insert more footage of me in that center bit, recording the audiobook, having dramatic conversations with people, like whipping something off the table or slamming my fist down and screaming like, I will not use AI to read this thing. Stuff like this, I want to throw lots of things in there like to make it as epic as possible over something as trivial as an audiobook reading of my book. And this is all comedy. And I hope you Americans have a sense of humor, okay? Because this is going to sting, all right? But I want you to all know I love you all. This is a joke. This is just for fun, okay? But here is the teaser taster before the final thing that might be finished maybe in a week or so. So here we go, guys.
A world where 54% of Americans read below a 6th grade level.
You read this?
It's impossible. I just see his words everywhere.
One man wrote a book about the hidden truth behind clowns.
I finally finished it. Links down below to the Amazon. Go check it out, guys. Give me a review. Let's get it out there and let's get this message out.
But he was about to find out.
Your primary market is the USA, and it ranks 36th in global literacy rates, with over 43 million adults unable to read or write.
Getting the truth to the people is no day at the circus.
You know, sometimes I wonder if I'm the real clown.
Nobody reads anymore.
Have you considered recording an audiobook?
Now they can hide that they're completely illiterate. This is amazing.
This season, playing on rectangular devices with black screens near you. The Nephilim looked like clowns. Audiobook.
Okay, there you go. So that's it. That's it. That's just the rough 1 minute long draft. So my vision for the future, and I'll show you the screen as I'm doing this, and I've already been working on it. If I just open, this is all, by the way, on iMovie. So there aren't any special effects. I'm very limited with the special effects I can do, right? So I've got to improvise massively to try and make this look good and do little tricks here and there. If I share the screen with you, this is what it looks like right now on my timeline. This is kind of what I'm dealing with. And I'll just zoom out so you can kind of get a look at it. And I have added a lot of extra things in there from since that was released. If you come along here, I've changed the background music and the audio of the narrator. I've had to re-record that and get another sample from that. So there's more of an epic impact like this.
In a world where 54% of Americans read below a 6th grade level.
See, I've got a bit more impact now. It's like, in a world, pause, where. But the other one was more like, in a world where 64, it was too joined together, you know. It was too upbeat and a bit too squeezed together. So now I've got more pacing behind it and the music's a bit more tense. And then it kind of ravels up. Now, here in the middle, I want to replace one of these scenes with me hugging my wife. And it's like, you're just going to see the back of her head, but it's me going like, everything's going to be okay now, you know, because I've just finished the book and I'm excited. And it's kind of, it's the thing we needed, you know. And then it cuts to me being excited, promoting it. And then it's like, but he was about to find out.
But he was about to find out.
Your primary market is the USA, and it ranks 36th in global literacy rates, with over 43 million adults unable to read or write.
Getting the truth to people.
It's lagging a bit. I've changed the visual, the editing on the impact of the thing. I've added this. The circus images is there, you know. Is no trip to the circus.
Is no day at the circus.
You know, sometimes I wonder if I'm the real clown. Okay, and I've moved that over there. And now this middle bit here is where I've started extending it out. And I've got the lawyer telling me I should maybe do an audiobook. I've got this guy telling me, you're going to get a sore throat.
You're going to get a sore throat.
You're serious about this, aren't you?
It's like, we've got to stop this book from getting out. And then this guy contemplating, looking, staring at this thing, looking confused, this clown. Anyway, I've had a bit of fun. I've been playing it around with this. I've even added something funny at the end with a clown, just for another laugh. And the comedy's been injected into it, but in this middle bit here, I really want to stretch it out for the full 1 minute 49 with just me interjecting between these scenes, just working on the audiobook, sat in my office, sweating away, just speaking into a microphone. And again, a bit of random moments where I'm staring up at the sky, holding a red nose, you know, looking deep. I'm gonna throw it all together, and this is probably my most ambitious advert yet. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I want it to look as cinematic as possible. So there you go. That's what I'm working on, guys. That's in the works. Okay, we're getting there with this. So I'm having a lot of fun with that behind the scenes lately. If you were wondering, it's like I'm a bit over lagging a little bit. It's like I'm over encoded. So I'm just going to switch to this for a second so it can sort itself out before I switch the screen back. But there you go, guys. What do you think of the advert? Is that okay? Do you like it? That's just a bit of fun. Wendy says it's the best one yet. You've outdone yourself. I hope so. I work hard on these, but I'm not finished. There's plenty more adverts to come in the future. Let's put it that way. America's been dumbed down for decades. No offense taken. Oh, good. The hair blowing and the zooming eyes. It's literally the desk fan. It's really hot, actually, in England. Recently, we had a heat wave, and it's been awful, just awful. I am drenched right now. And the fan's downstairs because Keely's using it because it is horribly hot. So I'm just sweating away in this little box right now. But I did have the fan like on the window blowing at me as I was speaking. And I had a lot of fun with the fan. I'm not going to lie. That made me laugh out loud. The screen is black. Never mind. Yep. It can only get better. Yeah, again, that was just the draft. That was like an introduction to concept. I've got a lot more recording to do. And I've got time because ACX can take a long time to approve an audiobook. The audiobook's up there. It's uploaded. It's just in like quality assurance checks zone right now. And it could pass. It could pass. Or it could just fail arbitrarily over something I have no idea what for. It could just fail. And I could have been waiting for like 10 days or maybe longer for nothing. And I'm going to have to change the files, do whatever they've asked me to do to make it so it's okay in their eyes, and then re-upload and wait again. So it could be a while before it gets released. It should, fingers crossed, it should just get released 10 business days from when I put it up on the 8th. So what's that now? We're on Sunday, Saturday. Let's just remove those 2 days. So 3 days. So it could be another week now. Maybe at the end of the week, hopefully, maybe next Monday, not this Monday, the next, we might have it up and running. But that gives me time to make this advert, so I can release it all at once with the announcement. And we'll do a live show announcement like I always do, maybe one of the Truth or Therapy sessions or something. So that's coming as well. I hear you, Paul. It's brutal here where I am. It's so hot the past couple of days, says Jeff. I don't know what's going on, but I cannot stand it. I do not do well in the heat. I have never done well in the heat. I do not live in north of the equator for nothing. Like, I am built and designed for cold climates. That much is clear. There's not a single amount of melanin in my body anywhere. I don't know what the sun thinks it's doing, but it is wrong. It ain't right. Man, you were born for this for real. I don't know. I'm just an artist. I have an art degree. I like to get creative. I like to have some fun. Yeah. So I hope this show's a bit different. I mean, I have been thinking of just reading the Bible on this channel, just having a weekly reading of a book, or maybe half a book. It depends how big. Some of them are quite big, and just starting with the New Testament. Just going through all the New Testament, and just having that there on a playlist, just me reading the Bible audiobook for people to get and listen to whenever they want, just on the channel as a resource, just doing it live, a live show every week. So there might be mistakes, but I only made a few reading Ecclesiastes. I've had a lot of practice reading an audiobook and not making mistakes. But when you're on the spot live, it can get a little bit, annoying. Maybe I'll pre-record them and just release them so I can remove the mistakes. I don't know. It's kind of a read-along thing, like you just saw then. I mean, I read the New International Version just because I think it actually reads quite well. There's a lot to be said for it as a translation. It's an okay translation. It's not perfect, The KJV is a great translation, but the language it's people can struggle to listen to it sometimes, and it's, I think, something similar to a more modern English is just easier to read for me as a reader, and it's easy to understand for people who are maybe listening for the first time. But of course, you should read many different translations and see the differences and word choices, and that should be something you do in your study But I'm thinking just a preliminary, I might just read the basic English, maybe the ESV or the NIV or something, and just read that, or maybe the new King James instead, and just have that here on the channel. What do you guys think? Would you like a weekly Bible reading? Was that something you maybe want on the channel? Maybe I can replace a live show a week with just that instead every now and then. I don't know. It's just an idea. But I have been thinking about it for a while. The NIV does leave out verses. I know. I'm not saying it's perfect, Wendy, but it gets the gospel out at least, and maybe inspires people to go and read more verses for themselves. In this fallen world, it's going to be difficult to find a perfect translation that reads in perfect English that everyone can understand in the modern day. I'm not interested in doing a Bible study on the channel, just reading what we have and what we know. That's just an idea. I enjoy being read to. There you go. I recommend the new KJV as a main reading, says Sebastian. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might just do that. Yeah. You should, Paul. That would be awesome. Where can we pick up the audiobook when it's done? Is it Audible? So if you already answered, says Colton, it will be on Audible. Yeah, so ACX is Amazon's partner company with Audible that deals with the audiobook side of things. I thought when I did it through Kindle Direct Publishing, KDP. So my book is available on KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. It's all published through Kindle. And it's sold on the platform of Amazon. It's all one thing. Amazon owns it all, And ACX is the publishing process for audiobooks, and they sell the audiobooks on Amazon, and they'll be linked with my book once it's done. So it's all in the works, and it should all just be in one spot on Amazon, really. And it's kind of like, want the audiobook, buy it for this much, listen on Audible, and it's all kind of going to be one integrated Amazon place, and that's where it's all kind of going down, because that's just how, as a self-publisher, I've landed. That's just where I've ended up, because it was convenient and it worked. It stuck, and it's been quite successful on there, so it's kind of working out quite well, which I'm very thankful for. And again, now that the second edition's out, with all the corrections made and the correct spellings and everything and all the punctuation sorted out, and now the audiobook is out as well. Once that's done and this advert's out, I'm just going to write the second one. Any spare time I have outside of that is no longer going to be focused on doing anything with the audio. It's just going to be writing the new book. So I'm hoping, once I get that going and the momentum rolling, and maybe I can dedicate a couple of mornings a week and then maybe a couple of evenings a week into that. It should get done quite quickly, hopefully. But I couldn't give you a date. I would like it to be published by next year. I would like it to be published by then, but I just don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know if before I even release the book, I might do the audiobook. So it's all completely boxed off and done, and the whole thing can be bought as singles, volume 1 and 2 sold separately, or you can get the combined volume 1 and 2 super mega thick book or something like that with size 10 writing to make it a bit thinner. I might just do something like that, or so those three options, singles together, and then an audiobook. So there'll be 2 audiobooks for 1 and 2, or there'll be the combined audiobook as a separate product. So those will be the products that are available, so people have choice. But I'd like to get it all just done and boxed off. So I might just, before releasing the paper version of the second volume, I might record the audiobook. And that, again, took me a month and a half just to do the audiobook alone. So that's extra time on top of the whole process, and it's not easy. This whole thing has taught me so much. Like, writing a book has taught me a ridiculous amount about what the work it takes and the processes involved and the times and the checks involved and the formatting process of the books. And it's kind of the whole thing. You'd think it would be easy. You write some words, just put it on Amazon. It really isn't. It's so complex of a process. It is as simple as that, but it's kind of, there's like little steps in between you've got to do, and checks you've got to pass, and I'm not trying to write a piece of crap, I want it to be an up to scratch scholarly piece of work that people can reference and use, even in their own books, So it's that kind of thing. Call to content house. Sorry, y'all been busy working on things, but here in spirit and listening. No problem, brother. Thanks for being here. I got a super chat here. What's this? From Jesse Stronghold. live read, do it. There you go. Well, the Jesse's interested in that too. Yeah, maybe I'll do it more often. It's just easy to do, isn't it? And it needs to be done. I think a lot of people are craving the word today more than ever, myself included. And I'm not going to lie. I feel like I got hyper focused on Revelation for a long time. I'm thinking maybe I need to just go back to basics and just reread the whole gospel again. The synoptic gospels, and just do the New Testament as it is, canonized as it is. And then maybe we'll get into the Apocrypha or something after that. The Old Testament is long and dry genealogy stuff at the start, and everybody who says I'm going to read the whole Bible from start to finish on the channels, they rarely get past Leviticus because it's just they've been listing names and who begat who just constantly for so long, and it's kind of, I feel like they did lose it by that point, and the passion gets lost. I'm thinking let's just stick to the important stuff for now. Let's just talk about Christ and Jesus and the truth in the New Testament. And then maybe we can cover things like I did with Ecclesiastes, going back every now and then in the past, And then once they're all done, we can compile them all into one big, long, canonized thing. But again, this is just an idea, a bit of fun. I say fun, it's not fun, but it's something extra for the channel. I think might be good. My audience is big, I've got almost 100,000 subscribers. My views aren't as big as they used to be since I stopped talking about the little season. But I think that's for the best, because I'm not just a little season channel. I don't want people just to stick around expecting that forever, I want to be able to do these other things like the audiobook, the Nephilim Clan research, the spiritual warfare stuff, the AI conversations on robotics as well, the more of that kind of thing, the philosophy behind biblical concepts. I want to do all that, Yeah, so I think I probably will start doing a Bible reading. I would like to pre-order box set, says Nancy. Well, Nancy, there's nothing like that available. There's nothing, and I couldn't even begin because I don't know when anything's going to be released to even start something like a pre-order system. If I did, I would just be putting some more extreme pressure on me that isn't already there from the people who donated on the original GoFundMe. So it's kind of, they're waiting on the second book to be finished so they can get the combined volume. And have about maybe 60 people waiting for that. So they're my priority first, and I don't think I can open up any more pre-orders now. I can't do that. I can't pile on top of the already big demand that's over my shoulders. Again, I should never have made such promises that I made. I learned a lot about that, I bit off a lot more than I could chew, and I'm slowly chewing through it now to get it done and fulfill those promises. It is what it is, If you would like to support me, I have another batch of the brand new second editions coming in at the end of the month. I'll probably order them on the 22nd, 23rd. They should arrive maybe on the 28th, and they'll be available for signed copies. Somebody's already pre-ordered one of those signed copies. They've already claimed one for themselves and paid me for that. So as soon as they turn up at the end of the month, that's going off in the post immediately. If you want to pre-order for this batch of volume 1 that I'm going to for signed copies, then let me know. Email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com, and you just pay the amount, whether you want a hardcover or a paperback, and let me know your address, and that's yours. At the end of the month, I'll send one out for you when my shipment turns up. So that's available still. There's always, if anyone wants a signed copy, let me know. Just email me. Every month I get a new batch in. I've already sold out the previous month. I get them at the end of every month, so that's already gone. But this next one that's going to turn up at the end of the month, you can always pay and then it's yours, or you can wait till they turn up and pay and I'll send it out. Either way, that's always available. But I don't know about the combined second edition. That's in a year from now at least. Half a year at best if I'm lucky. But we'll see. We'll see. The Torah keepers are writhing with that one. Yeah, I bet. Well, I'm not a Judaizer on this channel. I'm not looking to try and boast myself up as holier or better than anybody else, because I still follow the old law to the T, even though it's not the thing that saves me either way. I understand God's law is perfect, it's wonderful, and it's something you should follow, and you can have a great time doing that. But I think a lot of them get this idea. It's like, well, I'm better than you, and I'm more saved now because I also follow the Torah and to the T and try to follow all the rules, you know. And it's kind of, I feel like there's a bit of a pride issue sometimes with that community. But I know I know they love God. I know they're on our side in a sense. But I feel like it's always it's salvation, but with extra steps. And that extra steps thing always pisses me off in a way. Pardon my French, you know. But there's a lot of that out there lately, and I feel like it's simple. The gospel is easy. It's simple. Just believe. That's wonderful that it is so accessible and simple and easy. That's the good news. It wouldn't be good news without that, you know. So let the Torah keepers be annoyed. I don't care. I can dig it. I'm being facetious. We did a GoFundMe back in the day with my band and promised all kinds of things, and we too learned the hard way how it is to fulfill everything. We didn't screw anyone over, but we had trouble. Yeah, I'm not looking to screw anyone over. It's kind of, I promised people a book, you know, and I made a book, but it's not finished. You know, there's still volume 2 to come out, and I feel like the people who paid on the GoFundMe deserve the whole thing. So I made an offer. I said, look, if you're willing to wait, you'll get the whole thing eventually. If you don't want to wait, you can have this book signed and sent to you as promised, you know. And that's it. That's all it is. And some people have graciously said, Paul, I'll wait. It's fine. Some people said, no, I'll have this book now. I don't want to wait any longer. And the offer is still there for anyone on the GoFundMe. If you don't want to wait any longer, I'll send you a signed copy of this book. That's already published. That's right now. Because you've already paid for it because you supported me on GoFundMe, you know. But that system's shut, you know, and so that's kind of how I've gone around it. And, you know, no one's pressuring me or anything, but I feel it in my soul. Like, I want to fulfill that promise I made. I want them to have the combined volumes 1 and 2 because they believed in me when this project began, and they've been there from the start. Some of them are still here now, and it's kind of, they deserve that, you know. So that's it, really. Wendy said, it's true, Paul. There are many Torah keepers that keep because they love Father, not because they think it saves them. We shouldn't box in people like they do to us. I agree, Wendy. I'm probably wrong the way I said that. I'm talking about the bad apples. I'm talking about the ones that do really like behave like you're not doing it right. That kind of attitude. You have to do what I do as well. Otherwise, you don't really believe. You know, it's that kind of attitude. And it's kind of, come on, man, not everyone's in the same place or has the same context or the same life as you or view or abilities as you have. And it's kind of, if these are the requirements on top of accepting the free salvation that Jesus Christ is who he said he was, and it's kind of, then a lot of people are never going to make it. You know, it's that kind of thing because they might not have the ability or the capacity to do some of those things. And it's that kind of stuff, you know, it gets me a little bit. And there's definitely like a religious spirit behind it all I don't like. And it's never gelled well with me. That's it, really. That's all I'm saying about it. But I know that most of them are just brothers and sisters in Christ, and they love God, and they just want to really be close to him. So they follow that law, you know, to the best of their ability. And that's great. You know, each to their own. But I feel like there were some real self-righteous people in that community, and that's bad fruit. So I can't describe it as anything else, you know. Yeah, I think that some people need to chill out. Says Culzacon, exactly. Having started a channel with 0 videos, knowing the work that needs to be done, I applaud you, brother, in the world. Abba is doing through you. Well, Miles, you know. This didn't happen overnight. If you started a new YouTube channel, I would say give it 10 years. You might be somewhere. Stick to the Ecclesiastes rule. It's arbitrary. One video may go viral and you'll be an overnight success and monetized in a day or two because you've suddenly smashed 10,000 subscribers in a week and you've got over like 15,000 watch hours out of nowhere or something, because you just did the right thing at the right time and the algorithm picked it up and you got blessed by the algorithm, you know. Or every video you release is going to get 3 views and you're going to put all your time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into every video, hoping it's going to be the one that's going to do it for you, and it won't. It'll still get maybe 50 views, or maybe 20 this week, or maybe this week it gets nowhere, and maybe it won't get pushed out to anybody for some reason. Or maybe you'll have one successful video and the next one will be terrible, and it's kind of it. That's the rigged arbitrary game we're playing as a YouTubers. I have just been consistently posting and doing what I want to do and making what I want to do on this channel since 2014. And it's slowly developed into this over time. And it just doesn't happen overnight. Even if you deserve it. And that's sad. But that's Ecclesiastes for you. That's just the way it is. But I know you're out there, Miles, doing your thing, and I know you want to get into the little season content creation. I know you did something with Rev the other day, and that's getting is that released tonight? Is that getting released today on Sunday? Defending the little season after people were on trying to break it down on that same thing, you know. And yeah, good for you, man. Do your own thing. You do what you want to do. More power to you. I'm just saying, don't focus on the figures. Just make content that you like, that you want people to see, and the growth will come. But there is also the sad, horrible, brutal truth as well that, you know, if what you're making people aren't interested in, then no one's going to watch it. There's that too. So that's why you get a lot of YouTubers out there twisting themselves into pretzels, sometimes literally on camera, just to get the clicks. You know, it's kind of pushing the boundaries of what they actually want to do with their lives, or in some way being somebody they're not, just to put on a performance for people, just to get the clicks and the shock. And that's why you see a lot of that. But I wouldn't fall into that. I would say just be yourself, talk about what you need to talk about, and those who want to listen will turn up. Yeah, but you know, if you're in a niche topic or a niche community, there might not be that many people who watch your videos, but they'll be there and they'll stick around and they'll stay with you, even if they're small in number, because they care about what you have to say. You know, and also never, ever, ever look at other people's success and compare yourself to it. Don't do that. Like, it's just not clever. It's depressing. It really is. And it can harbor resentment and bitterness and jealousy and all sorts of problems. It's just not worth it. Like, those, and it could be the case as well. They got successful and they don't deserve it. They did no work and they suddenly just got successful because of the arbitrary nature of existence and the blessings of the algorithm just was bestowed upon them by the AI gods that rule this system. You know, it's kind of, and they just randomly were skyrocketed to fame and prominence and money and wealth and everything and attention just because it's the way it works, bro. It's just random, you know. So then you look at them and you know, you can't help but get angry at that. When your videos are getting like 30 views and you put everything into it and you worked hard, and all they did was just record themselves with a filter or something like that for 30 seconds, you know. I get it, you know, but that's why you should never compare yourself to any of them, because you don't know how they got there, what work they did, or what it took to be all that. Some people got there and they deserved it, and they grinded away, they put in the years, the time, and the effort as well, and they made it arbitrarily. Like I said, with somebody who did exactly the same thing and will get nowhere and will never make it. It's rough. YouTube is psychologically a nightmare. And then there's the whole idea of once you are up there, you better sticking to whatever you're talking about forever. Otherwise, the algorithm won't know what to do with you anymore. And it'll just completely break down and start showing your videos to people who have nothing to do with you whatsoever, which will attract weird people to your channel who want to rip you down. And it's kind of, it's sensitive. It's a sensitive system, you know, it's a delicate. And I would say, screw all of that. Who cares? Just if you want to make something, make it. And that's all you should care. And be happy you did something. Be proud of yourself for just doing anything and saying something that you can be proud of and care about and actually wanted to say. And forget about the views. And you know, just my advice as somebody who's been doing this for a while. Yeah. I probably need to chill. Spicy Wendy leaving the chat. No, Wendy, no, yeah, you're fine. You haven't done anything wrong. Yes, sir, it's out now, says Miles. Oh, there you go. So Miles has released his little talk there, talking about the little season. So I'll be checking that when I get a chance, Miles. Probably not tonight. It's bedtime for me after this, but I'll do it when I can. I've definitely taken notes on your tips for truthers. That's good to know. That's good to know that's doing something for somebody. What was the last one I released? I released one recently. I've released a couple of shorts from it because I've got the software for a month, so I'm just going to use it and just throw some shorts out every time I do a live show. You know, you'll probably see a short from this show soon being released, probably about Ecclesiastes. I don't know, like just because I've got the program, I'm going to put the video in and it'll give me 5 shorts randomly with AI, and I'll pick one and do some minor tweaks because it's always gibberish and they've spelled words wrong, and then chuck one out tomorrow or something. So far, I don't think it's affected the growth of the channel in any way, shape, or form. I don't think anyone's subscribed from them. I don't think it's given me any real revenue in any way. You don't make money off shorts unless they get like millions of views, and then maybe you make a tenner. That's how shorts work. So they're not money makers. I think the philosophy is put out shorts. It attracts new people to your channel because it gives them a taste of what you're all about. But that's just not true. Like, people who watch shorts only watch shorts. They don't care. Right. Anyway, on to the point. Whatever my point was, I don't know. The Tips for Truthers thing. Yeah, I made a Tips for Truthers video, and it was about conspiratainment. And there was this idea that, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there which is masked as conspiracy content, which isn't. It's on mainstream sources more often than not as well, like Netflix or Prime or something, or Hulu, or wherever you stream your documentaries from, you know, on the box in the corner of the room. And they're not really conspiracy. That's not really what you should be finding out. You're not actually learning any truth that's deep or profound or paradigm shifting as much as they make it out to be. And often a lot of it's seeped in lies and nonsense as well, with a G, you know. And I pointed that out, and a couple of people were really offended that I would dare say such a thing. I got some really odd comments. And someone else sent me a comment on one of my recent videos as well, which was odd, which is I'm talking with Carmen Studer about art. And they said something like, "Are you still a Christian?" And then on the next video, which was the one I posted about talking about this thing, you know, this conspiratainment stuff, she was like, have you got into the occult now? And I'm like, what? Like, so the first question was, are you a Christian? And the second comment was, are you into the occult now or something? Have you gone over to the occult? And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, first of all, who the hell are you? And like, what are you saying? Like, when did I stop being a Christian? And when did I get into the occult? Like, when did that happen? And I can't believe they got that from those videos, but I get a lot of that lately. It's really strange comments. And I made this video and I explained very clearly, if you're watching those types of videos, you're not really getting into truth. You're just not. I'm being honest. Like, it's surface level stuff. It's there to keep you trapped. And I got a comment saying like, "You're so self-righteous." I'm like, how? I'm trying to calmly give you a solid piece of advice here so you don't fall into a trap. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm just warning you that stuff is garbage. Like, yeah, but it's just, I don't know. I can't please anybody. I just keep, yeah. We got Wake Up or Else in the house there. We got Kerwin here. He says, "I could use some therapy right now. My truth walk is pretty painful." Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that. Well, hopefully this show is therapy for you. Go back to the beginning, listen to the Ecclesiastes reading I gave you. It might give you some perspective. Are we getting to Ecclesiastes, says Cindy Shaw. Cindy, you missed it. The first 40 minutes of this entire show was me reading all of Ecclesiastes. So get back. Go back and watch it. If you need it that much, you know, don't start like getting sarky with me. Connor, I agree with you. Some people are so uptight. If you stuck a lump of coal in their butt in 2 weeks, you get a diamond. I've heard that one before, yeah. Sorry, guys, the chat's beeping away from me. I love it when the conspiratainment types who haven't gone further believe they're deep into conspiracy, says the Matrix Unraveled. I suppose it can plant seeds, but it usually leads to the Gnostic roots. Yes, more often than not, that's the problem. It leads to Gnosticism, or New Ageism, New Age truthism, usually. Ecclesiastes is my favourite book. Also, the first sermon I preached was from Ecclesiastes. I think it was Solomon's testimonial in his old age, him returning to God after the evil he did in life. Yeah, he said he went out there and did all the things seeking with his wisdom the pleasures of life, and realised it's all vanity, man. It's all sand through the fingers. It doesn't matter. It's not what we should be doing with our life. I guess some people want to talk about JFK for another 50 years, says Danny. Exactly, I know, right? I feel like the landscape of the truth world is changing a little bit this day and age. I think people are a bit more clued in now. Anybody and everybody has a conspiracy podcast all of a sudden. I think that we're not as fringe as we used to be. I think we are slowly, I wouldn't say becoming the mainstream, but we're definitely like a bigger supplementary extra channel they can go and check out now on the mainstream in some way. It's we're not as fringe as we used to be, that's for sure. But again, I think there's something to be said for encouraging people to get away from the basic stuff. Yeah, right, okay, UFOs, Area 51, Bigfoot, Mothman, Dogman, JFK assassinations, the moon landing is fake or something, whatever. Like, all right, I get it. We all get it. We've heard it ad nauseum for like 30 to 40 years now. It's over. We know, right? What else? And it's move on. It got way crazier than that. Like this. And half of that turns out to be masking and layering and even deeper, darker truth in many of those facets and things. It's kind of, it ain't aliens, it's demons. Like, that type of stuff. Like, move on. And like I said, a lot of people don't want to move on because it's fun. They have fun with those topics, and that's where they're going to stay, I guess. Yeah, so I'm coming up to the 2 hour mark now, guys. I'm on 1 hour 44 here. So I haven't got much longer really with you. So if anyone wants to ask any last minute questions, get them in now. Here's the chance. If you want to support the channel while I've got you here, please consider signing up to Patreon. That really helps me a lot. Also, PayPal's available there as well. Buy yourself a signed copy of the book through PayPal. Just email me at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and we can get that arranged. That's another great way to support me here as well. I took a week off at the start of this month, and it has had detrimental knock-on effects to earnings, I'll put it that way, as is the nature of being self-employed. But it was needed. I needed the break, you know. But I need to find ways of kind of maintaining food on the table as well. So I'm diversifying a little bit with monetization. I've managed to get the podcast monetized. That's very new. I'm actually one of the first people on RSS to be dry test running their new ad stuff. So they'll put dynamic ads into my podcast now. And I am literally of like 10 people doing it for the first time. And it's only by happen chance that they started like some random forum on Slack. And I joined, and it's a very small group. And there's only like a few people who actually interact with it, but it's run by RSS, the guys who run the company. And they're like, guys, we're going to release our new monetization thing soon for podcasts. DM me if you want to take part in the beta run. And I DM'd and said, yep, sign me up. Go and do it. Let's do it now. And it was like, okay, well, it's coming out in like a week or so. They were delayed. It took 2 weeks. And they've been promising monetization for months. And I was like, all right, well, I'll stick around, see what happens, you know. I'm only really putting them on there to back everything I do up. So it's in another place. And I just DM'd the guy, and then that was it. A week later, it's appeared in my RSS thing. It's there now in my little backstage settings section. And I've made a whole $4 in 2 days. Can you believe? So we'll see where that goes. But if you aren't aware, all my content is in podcast format. So you can just listen to that if it's easier than watching a YouTube video for some people. Podcast format is available for you guys as well. So go and check that out wherever you get your podcast from. On Spotify, the video even goes up. And I edit the videos for that by getting rid of all the pauses and all the I throw in there. Because I say a lot. I've learnt that. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that I say a lot. I don't mean to. I'm working on it. But I do. And I have to remove them. I did it again, you see. So it's go to the podcast format if you want the free, nonsense-free, gap live show problem-free versions of our shows. It's all there. Yeah, so that's a good way to support me again, guys. Go and watch the podcast. Like, that'll help as well. What else have I got? How else can you support me this day and age? While I'm in Shilltown and I've parked up, what else have I got? I've got merch. You can buy t-shirts and mugs and stuff from Teespring. Links down below. I forget about that. Someone that no one buys any of that stuff. Someone bought a notebook and a mug not that long ago, which I'm really happy about. Because I think I own the only other mug that's ever been made. Someone else out there, one other person out there has an Understanding Conspiracy mug. So there we are. That exists. I'm happy knowing that. That's it. I suppose that's the only real way to support me, guys, through Patreon, PayPal, and go buy a book on Amazon. Buying a book always helps. It always helps. That's absolutely. Thanks, Paul. Your voice and words are a comfort, says John. And well, we're all in it together, aren't we, buddy? I'm here with you. We're all here together. Truth or therapy. We're all just here to have some fellowship, aren't we? I'm glad I can help. My sarcasm isn't conveying well today, says Wendy. Oh, don't worry about it. We all have our off days. It's demons, bro. I had a friend who dove into JFK and 9/11, but could never get past them. He could never accept the large conspiracy and rejected it all. Interesting. The fringe line is invading normie world. It certainly is. I'm not here to entertain the narrative so I can feel fine. Haha says it's a long road. Yeah, it sure is. The long con. I'm the short con, says Guy. Well, the long con is something I kind of did want to touch on. I guess I can touch on it briefly now. But in a way, I'm always kind of talking about this on the channel. And it might be a good way to kind of end the show, just discussing this long con idea. But it's that I feel like a lot of the conspiracy stuff we discover as well, and the things we talk about on our channels in the community, I think I'm always drawn back to this understanding that a large part of the conspiracy was to reveal to us that we have conspirators, people working against us in a way, or controlling us, or with agendas to lead mankind down a certain direction. And the plan was always for them to reveal themselves to us and to make the public complicit in their existence and okay with it through a slow drip feed method. So with that long con in mind, I can't help but feel like we've come full circle now, and this is the end game of that long con, you know. And I'm wondering if we in some way have contributed to that inadvertently, and that's probably something I really want to focus on recently, you know, because it's important. It's important that we understand where we come from and where we are and where we're going as people who proclaim to be speaking the truth. And predominantly we're Christians. The real truth is out there. We seem to be on the Christian front, you know. And I think we need to remember that Satan's agents have been using us to forward their agenda as much as God has. Like they use their enemy, you know. And our desire and need to live in truth and to speak the truth, I feel like they've taken advantage of that, and they've given us a lot of false information to spread and they've given us things to talk about on our channels, and they've released clickbait articles for us to make commentary on to further broaden the public zeitgeist knowledge of their existence in a way that is far away enough that people won't do something about it, but obvious enough to make it clear that it's real. And a good example of this one actually is something I found on X of all places. And this person has been in the conspiracy game for a long time. I think it's called Illuminati Bot or something. I've got it here. I'll scroll down. I'll find the video. Yeah, it's called Illuminati Bot, and he released this video. I was just scrolling through and saw it. But as you can see, it's a classic conspiracy type video. These are the type of things we used to see all the time. The showing off the one-eyed symbolism of all the celebrities do it, It's just 2 minutes straight of them all doing the same pose over and over and over and over again, showing their allegiance type of thing. But then I look at this and I think, like, this is so obvious. Like, they weren't exactly hiding it very well if they were supposed to be a secret society, were they? Like, what are we supposed to... And it all harkens back to this Theosophical Society's revelation of the method thing. It's kind of like they want us to discover them. They want us to know they exist. They want us to be aware of them and just move on and accept it and be passive about it. And, it's just the way it is type of stuff. It's kind of, it's real. Why not join them, in fact? That type of attitude. How do I get in, Do I also have to do this? Just cover one eye and that's it. I've proven that I'm in. And I don't know, guys. I think this is something we need to talk about more. I think it needs to be contended with. For sure. We're in the year 2025 now, and the same people who had this plan say 2025 is kind of the end of the plan. It's when the world teacher will appear to change humanity forever. And I've heard some great speculation that world teacher could be AI, which has just blown up this year in a big, profound way, to the point where it's taking over systems exponentially. Who knows where we're going to be at the end of the year with AI? It's so fast now. Could AI be this prophetic Theosophical Society's Luciferian world teacher that's going to reshape humanity towards the Luciferian doctrine in the future? This is what they're banking on. This is what they're hoping for. Who knows? But we're in a crossroads here. We're in a very precarious position. We're in a strange place now. A very strange place. So that's the long con idea. I feel like I'm going to have to flesh that out in a different episode, maybe another time. I kind of already did this. If I remember correctly, if I go over to YouTube and I go over to content over here, I have one. What did I call it? We've been played. Let's put in played. Is it conned? Did I put conned in? We've been. Will that come up with something? Nope. I don't know. What did I do? Where would I find this? I have to scroll down through the masses of content till it turns up again. Give me a second. As you can see, there's a lot to get through here. I did kind of cover this a long time ago, so you can always go back and check this out. I think it's coming up. It's got to be coming up soon. Here it is. We got played. A 23-year conspiracy retrospective. And I kind of went through this one in this. And I kind of cover this idea. I think we're being messed with in a bit. It's back when I had the white microphone. I mean, it's a long time ago. 10 months ago. And I think it was about 9/11. Because it had been I think it was an anniversary episode. Yep, September 12th. And I kind of look back at it all and just the thumbnail kind of says it all. What the topics I was thinking about. Like, yeah. We got played. Even us in the truth movement, we got absolutely taken for a ride. And I think we may have fallen for it. So we need to talk about that. We need to shift gears and get more. I think we need to get more Christ-centric. Because if you're just doing conspiracy on its own and pointing out all the evil without offering the solution of Christ, you're actually not helping them at all. You're not helping at all. You're actually furthering their agenda. Because their aim is to show that everything's terrible and bad people are in control. and we need a savior. And then they're going to present their own version, which is not going to be Christ. That's kind of their plan. So if we don't bring it back to Christ after showing all these obvious signs that people are in control who shouldn't be, then what are we even doing? Why are we even here? What's the point? Yeah. Sorry, I've had to just change it because it's getting over encoded and probably lagging on your behalf. So you're probably just seeing a screen. But I think we're at the end of the show, guys. I've only got 5 minutes left, so I'm probably going to end it there. Like I said, make sure to check out all those ways you can support me down below. I would really appreciate the help. And thank you for all those who have already helped me so much in the past month. It's been incredible. Please pray for me and my family because we're really feeling the stress and the weight of existence right now. And it's... I hope you enjoyed the Bible reading at the start of Ecclesiastes. I think I personally did need that as well, so it was good to read. I probably, hopefully, let me know in the comments if you want me to do more Bible reading in the future. I think I might make it a regular segment in some way, just again to make sure we're focusing on the right things, to beat that long con agenda that's kind of been playing against us about their own revelation of the method, to introduce their own savior, which is probably right around the corner in terms of the human history narrative that's playing out in front of us. But who knows? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's all just a load of nonsense. We'll see. Time will tell, and I won't feel bad if I was wrong. I'm probably not going to care that much. I want the truth for myself and my journey, says Jeff. If I'm talking to someone about these topics, I'm not trying to sell them on it. Anyone trying to sell you something is lying to you. Yes, Sir Paul, the part of the Black Eye Club. How can people see a video like that and not be convinced something is afoot is beyond me. Repeating pattern indicates there is something more. Or at least the people who own the industries are certainly forcing their useful idiots to pose in that position for a reason. That's for sure. It's not that they're all in on it. It's that they all just got told to do this one thing for a photo shoot and they did it without thinking. That's usually how it goes, I think. And then some of them are in on it, that's for sure. I no longer call them the elites, I call them the deletes. I like that, Wendy, I like that. Zalora Morale Z, thanks for being here. Yeah, guys, right. So thanks for being here again. I'm gonna close this out. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than just thank you. Hang in there. I hope these truth therapy sessions are helping you in some way. The audiobook will be out soon, so keep an eye out for that. Get yourself a copy of the second edition. If you want a signed copy, send me an email at understandingconspiracy@gmail.com and we can get that arranged for you. I'll be back with a live Q&A on Wednesday, as per usual. I might be concentrating on next Monday and Tuesday on, again, working on the next book, finalising that advert and kind of boxing things off with the audiobook as best I can there. So there might not be a Tuesday video, or I might release an interview I did with Across the Pond podcast instead, just as kind of like a filler. And on Friday, hopefully I get another Tips to Truthers out for you as well. And then I'll see you next Sunday for the next Truth or Therapy session as well, which are all available, by the way, on podcast format. So go check that out. Thanks for listening, guys. And as always, God bless.